welcome to my channel. If you are new here, it is my dream to be an entertainer. So if you are at all entertained by this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. So I'm going to address the elephant in the room, at least my elephant in the room. Sorry I didn't post last week. I pushed myself too hard when I had COVID. And so after that, I was just exhausted. And I realized I needed to take a moment and, just do some self-love, self-care, and be kind to myself. And so I didn't record. And I have a very tight schedule right now. So if I don't record very specific times, then I miss the boat, so to speak. So that is what happened. So, but I am back and I do love doing these videos, so I'm not going anywhere. I just needed to take a moment for myself. And the second thing is, my wig did not want to stay on today. I do not understand. I cosplay all the time. This wig was just sliding off of my head. I don't even know. So we're gonna, whatever. And this eye, I'm wearing contact lenses, and it just keeps fogging up. Like, if you're a contact wet lens wearer, like, I don't know, there's nothing on the lens. It just keeps like fogging. Anyway, so if I squint while I'm doing this, it's because I'm trying to read, but I didn't want to put glasses because the light reflects in it funny. So whatever. I actually have 2 weeks worth of content to talk about, potentially. However, I'm just going to cut it so the most interesting ones are there. But I will go ahead and list everything that I was planning on talking about last week and this week in the description. So if you like the idea of, I give you the articles so that you can, read them and stuff, more content will probably be down below. I am just going to read the highlights to get through this in an entertaining way, because you can't really cover news once it's old news, you know what I mean? So we're starting on some pretty sad news. Voice actor Kyousei Tsukui loses his voice after tracheotomy due to ALS. And if you don't know, ALS is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. It is a neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. If you remember a few years ago, the Ice Bucket Challenge was a big trending thing that was actually to raise awareness for ALS. So Kyousei actually is someone that we now all know, well, sort of, who is suffering from the disease. And he revealed on his blog on Friday, which was last Friday, that he was given a tracheotomy and now he has lost his voice. He's actually now using a digital software to help him speak, and he mentioned that he lost his voice way faster than he was expecting, which to me would just be absolutely a nightmare. It's like living in a horror movie. I cannot even imagine. He actually is no longer able to move his arms or legs, and he communicates through the digital voice software. And I will list some of the work that he has done while I'm talking. It's an interesting idea that I had. It was not mentioned in this article, but the idea of using synthetic voice AI to replicate someone's voice, and people are stealing their voices. I believe he has done enough work out there that they potentially could replicate his voice so that the software he uses to communicate could actually sound like him. And in cases like this, I 100% back that. I think that would be amazing. I remembered earlier on in my career, I was going to volunteer. It never actually lined up, unfortunately, but there was a service where they would let you, and that's literally what it was. You would read like 3 hours worth of like words and sentences so that they could replicate your voice, so that those who lost their voice and have to use like one of those machines that like you either hold it there or I guess type it. I was not privy to the details, but those people who lost their voice could actually still sound. It was especially, I was told that it was, was to help like young ladies or even children sound like women instead of the generic, especially this was a few years ago. So the AI voices were really robotic sounding. And or like that, they didn't want to use a male voice, so then if they can use a lighter or higher voice, that kind of thing, it could just bring them a little bit more individuality, because losing your voice like that, again, I can't imagine. I know I know it happens certainly for several different reasons, but that is horrific, and I do think that is where a synthetic voice replicating your voice would be really great. So, like that, as soon as you are diagnosed with throat cancer, ALS, anything that might affect your speaking ability, to then go and record, because if you yourself are recording it, then, I think it would be easier for them to kind of replicate and mimic your voice. And again, that would just be so that you can have your voice still speak for you through a computer. And in his case, I don't know if he'd be able to, if it's good enough yet to have that nuance where he could, they could type in the voice, the text or something, and it can come through as his voice. I don't know that he'd be able to work. He did tell his his fans to please continue cheering for him. This was back in 2019. He said this when he was diagnosed, and he was going to work as long as possible. But now that he has officially lost his voice due to the tracheotomy, I don't know if he's going to be able to work anymore. On a personal note, my mother had a very temporary tracheotomy, so she's got the scar, but she no longer has it. So she did get her voice back, but I don't know if because like this, if you have to have that for breathing and that kind of assistance, if you can't remove it, then I don't think you can get your voice back. So again, it's incredibly difficult for everybody, but especially for a voice actor. That is your livelihood. That is your career. Obviously, he is now. I don't know if he's bed bound, but he might. He'll obviously have to be a wheelchair user because he doesn't have use of his legs or arms, and it's just it is such a nightmare. So this certainly, again, kind of brings to forefront ALS. So if you are able to donate, I will provide a link in the description for that continued research. But just keep him and his family in your prayers. It's again, it's just there's nothing I can say. It's just absolutely horrible. On a happier note, Barney, everybody's favorite. I was gonna say green. He's purple. I was gonna say green and then I was gonna say brown. I don't know my colors. I need to go back to kindergarten. Purple. Everybody's favorite purple dinosaur. I guess, unless you like Dino from Flintstones. Anyway, whatever. Barney is getting, or has already gotten, a revamped look. He's actually pretty cute. And the OG voice actor would love to return as his voice. Bob West, he became the voice of Barney way back in 1988, which I did not realize Barney was that old. Like, I know he was always around, since I never watched him, but I do know that he was around. I don't know. I don't remember my childhood. Is that a bad thing? I only remember like starting at like age 6. It's really weird. But yeah, no, yeah. So he's really excited to see Barney. Apparently he is making a comeback after 14 years off the grid is what the article says. So I guess Barney was canceled. He's coming back. He's all fancy now in his new looks, and Bob West would love to voice him. And yeah, especially seeing this side by side. Now, granted, I love mascots and like fursuits and stuff. Obviously, I'm biased. I love that kind of performance. It's very exhausting to do. So the actors who played Barney, like the physical Barney, um, that's a lot of work, especially recording, like, because they have to, reshoots and stuff. That is a long day. I do not know how they did it back in the day, if there was only one or if they took turns, like, even being in an outfit like that for 2 hours. I'm sure Barney had a cooling system, something in there, but still, it's hard work. It really is. I know people knocked him, and I know back in the day, didn't like he got beaten up and like murdered. Like, ooh, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want YouTube to hate me, but I'm gonna put it right here. Yeah, that news article. And if I can't find it, then I guess I'm crazy. But side by side, the new Barney is 100% CGI, but I don't know. I think it fits him. Like, I know people are really apparently upset about this. I didn't realize he had people's heart like Blue's Clues, like when Steve came back and stuff. Like, I didn't realize that it was such a thing. I guess I totally skipped it. Like, he was he's older than me, but I just never really watched him. I only remember watching him when I was babysitting my niece. So like I never watched him as a kid myself. If I did, I blocked that out. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Bob hasn't been contacted yet. So it sounds like the role is potentially still open. No one's really talked to production. This is a TMZ article. So they're just kind of, sprucing up the topics. But I think that would be awesome. I think then you could get some of the OG fans to come back if it's like, oh, hey, Barney's still Barney. He just looks younger. I don't know. That's interesting. Let me know in the comments below. Are you a fan of Barney? How do you feel about this? Um, I have no feelings except for that'd be awesome for Bob to get the character back. I am always a fan of, having one voice for a character once that voice is, embedded into that character, until obviously there are issues like if someone passes away, you have to recast. But when all availability is there, I think it's awesome to keep the same voice. So hopefully the stars will align and the schedules and everything. There's a lot more in the back end than anyone realizes, especially if they're going for a new look. They might want a younger sound. But oh yeah, good luck to him. I hope that works. So just a little quick thing. FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Hogwarts Legacy are now banned from charity events. It's a YouTube video I will link down below. I understand that the content might be a little bit questionable in different facets, right? So FNAF, I can see, that's a mature rated game. So having it for like a kid's charity might not really fit. Although when you walk through like, Walmart and Target, they sell FNAF little figurines and blind boxes and stuff in the kids' toys section. So clearly they're not marketing it correctly. It should be in the other side, like where like the Funko Pop, those things and stuff. It is targeted towards children, even though it's a mature rated game. And then obviously Hogwarts Legacy has its own issues. I don't know. I feel a little bit like I respect those who are boycotting and not purchasing it, but the game itself I don't think there's anything in it. Like it feels like way back in the 90s when the books were coming out and people were boycotting it cuz witchcraft is satanic. Like why would you boycott a game for charity? You're raising money for something else. You could even slap J.K. Rowling in the face by doing a charity for, transgender kids. Like that's a really important thing that we need to raise to make sure that raise money so that these people, these children and young adults can feel safe and really grow up with a support system. So like that would be a great way to kind of force that and fight back in a way that you would raise so much more money than the one person who bought the game to then live stream. So I guess I'm seeing it too much of a bigger picture. I'm seeing it more of from like a marketing angle and less from a human angle. So I do respect people who do not want to play those games. It's a little bit weird that they've officially been banned. I don't know. That feels like censorship to me. But I guess it's a fine line. So let me know what you think. I know it's very controversial, so I certainly don't want to offend anybody. But yeah, but let me know your thoughts. Just keep it respectful in the comments. Let's all respect one another. But let me know what you think on that. Another death in the entertainment industry. I know there have probably been many, but again, I kind of focus on voice acting for now. Jansen Panettiere, who is Hayden Panettiere's brother. He's her brother. He died. He passed away. Unknown causes. He is known as voicing in Blue's Clues and Ice Age: The Meltdown, and he's also been in other like live on-screen camera work of The Walking Dead, Major Crimes, How High 2, Love and Love Not. So yeah, it's very unfortunate, especially again, like a loss of life is always so sad and tragic, but it's especially so when you are so young. 28, that's pretty young these days. We can live very long. So I just wanted to mention that. I'm also going to list Another little video for you if you're interested. 10 movie video games everyone missed, and it's a listicle. So if you like listicles, I got one for you this week as well. Just a quick blurb announcement. Blumhouse, the horror juggernaut, as it is called on CNBC, their article, is launching a video game division to also create horror-themed projects for consoles, PCs, and mobile devices. The Blumhouse is known for Get Out, and they're going to partner with independent game developers and kind of invest in low budget games. So to me, that sounds awesome. I mean, like, it's such a good because like if they know they specialize in horror, but they know more like the movie and that kind of side of production, so they let creatives, independent creatives, really come in and give them this concept, and they help fund and create these independent games. I think that is so awesome, because then it opens more possibilities for those independent creative artists to have that backing and the financial support. But then, of course, since it's an an indie, whatever, so it's probably they do save a lot of money. So I think it's a win-win. In both ways. So yeah, I think that's awesome. They also did Paranormal Activity, so they're really good. They know their horror. They're also working to merge with The Conjuring's director, James Wan's Atomic Monster production company. That's going to close this summer. So big things in the world of horror. I never play horror games because I get scared way too easily, although in my adulthood now, instead of getting super scared and screaming and like running away, I get angry scared. Does that happen to anybody else? So maybe I can start playing some of these games, because I'll just get angry at them and scream at the ghost. Really, really fun fact, I got to audition, and I was shortlisted, so knock on all the wood. Haven't gotten it yet, but it was really interesting to be having that callback is really an honor, and it is for horror, the horror genre. It was interesting to be like, oh well, I can't partake in it, but of course I can I can work behind the scenes. It's less scary that way, right? I don't know. You can kind of scare yourself when you're alone in the booth and you get too carried away. So we will see. Another listicle, because I always try to have one per week and I missed one last week. So this one is 7 video games you can beat in under 7 hours. And I was going to read them out, but to save time, that is just in the description down below if you want to see that. I think that's awesome, because sometimes you want to play something, but you don't want that huge time commitment. And I thought it was really, really funny. They list Metal Gear Solid 5, but it's Ground Zeroes. So that's the one that was it was this standalone, like, pre-DLC. Is that a thing? Like, before the game came out, you were able to play Ground Zeroes. So yes, you can beat that one in under 7 hours. But I was like, Metal Gear would never go on here. But yeah, so they've got a lot of cool stuff listed. Some of them are the same games that was listed in the Valentine's Day one. So just gives you, more reason to play those games, right? I did just want to mention, because we are talking about synthetic AI voices, there is a fake Biden speech that was trending last week, or I guess multiple speeches. People are deep faking President Biden. And regardless of what your political stance is, that should frighten and concern you. Not only, luckily, like, I think a lot of this stuff they're making, they had a great example of like presidents like Obama, Trump, Biden, and I think there's a fourth one, and they were playing like Among Us. So they were deep faking that all of these, past and present presidents are like playing Among Us together. So that was kind of funny to hear, like, these like really, confident, older gentlemen, and be like, oh man, I didn't do that. I was in the vent, like, yeah, I'll be the first to admit that is funny to be like, haha, like President Obama's like, I didn't kill him, but yeah, no, let's not do deepfakes of very important political people, because if that gets sent out and someone believes it, like I literally, you could start a war. And I don't think that's hyperbolic. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm just trying to raise that there are real issues here. If someone really wanted to troll President Biden, and it got over, like to the enemies. And again, I'm not a political person. This is not a political channel, but it can be serious. So I think we have to take a step back and realize that this kind of stuff really shouldn't be is supported as much as it is entertaining to see these innocent things. It can get really dangerous, and no one wants, your own senator or mayor or whatever, in your location to have a deep fake of them and say something scandalous, and then you have to work through, and now you have to pay like investigators, and like it's just a lot of money to prove that no, that person never said that, and people are it's still gonna put in a negative, mental, thing of once that rumor gets spread, it's to be like, oh, well, is it truth? Is it a cover up? Is it, like it just gets into all these conspiracy theories, and we don't need that. If it goes out, kind of like actually War of the Worlds that I was talking about before, in my Name That Voice series, where, a lot of people didn't hear the beginning where it said, hey, this is fiction. And so they heard that aliens were invading New Jersey. Well, what happens if they release President Biden saying, hey, this is an address to the nation, that, you know, not only were they sighted, but they are coming, they're 2 hours away. That's someone is going to believe that, and people could get very violent in their fear. And even if you think that's stupid, and you're like, no one would fall for that. People would fall for that. People still believe the earth is flat, and there is a lot of scientific evidence to prove that that is wrong. So again, yeah, it can get dangerous. So I talked more on that than I meant to. I just wanted to mention that. I have decided, or I am thinking about potentially opening this up so it's not just voiceover, so that I do more pop culture and movies, even anime, that kind of stuff, just like the stuff that like when you go to a convention, that stuff would be around. And then also maybe even some YouTube stuff. I don't want to be a drama like commentary channel, but it is cool to talk about what is trending and everything, and try to get some conversation going. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit. The format is pretty much probably going to stay the same, but we will see moving forward. So I just have a few things. Comic-Con, the Comic-Con Museum. That is hard. Why is it so hard to talk today? The Comic-Con Museum in San Diego has won the Best Pop Culture Museum category in the 2023 USA Today 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards. I did not know that was a thing. The fact that there's a category for pop culture museums, it had several in there, and it was voted based on popular vote by members of the public. So everybody voted that San Diego's museum is the best for any comic related museum stuffs. So that's cool. There's also another listicle for you, the top 30 pop culture trends in March, so you can see if you are up to speed on everything that is trending so far. What's today? The 9th? The 6th? The 5th? We're only like in the second week of March, whatever day that is. I know it's Sunday. Does that count? Another great voice actor also passed away, Mitsuo Senda. He was 82 years old. He passed away on February 25th. I only found this article now, so I apologize for the lateness of it. He passed away from ischemic heart failure, so I believe that's like a heart attack. But he has been in a lot. For me, I think the biggest is the great toad sage Gamamaru from Naruto. But he's been in a lot of stuff. So again, it's a big loss to the Seiyu, the Japanese voiceover community, because he's been in a lot. So just a quick mention blurb. Activision's Black Ops 3 is having a severe security vulnerability, is what it was called by TechCrunch. So apparently it is super easy to find the IP address of other players and hack their account. And I'm not sure. Yeah, it's actually they're saying that they're actually able to take over other players' computers, which is extremely scary. So that reminds me of like when you're in an office and like you allow the IT, support to like log in and like you can see them move your mouse. I think that's what they're saying with this. I know that at least it reveals your IP address. Yeah, they can kick you from the game. They can corrupt your downloadable content. They can crash your game. They can do anything that they want. So some fans have actually been going in to help kind of reverse engineering it to try and protect the players. Activision acknowledged the first bug report and awarded Maurice Human. Is that how you say it? It looks like it's pronounced human, but maybe it's Heumann. One of the two hackers behind the efforts to fix it, a big bounty for reporting it. But he has since reported a second bug and he hasn't heard back from them. So Activision has yet to fix it on their end. And, Human is reporting and has receipts that he has reported it. So they have records that this is a problem, but for some reason they're not doing anything. So that's why the fans are doing it. So that's just scary. You should be able to play these online games and not have this, and of course, I know everyone ruins everything. You can't ever have anything nice in this world because someone's going to ruin it for you. But, yeah, that's just like, it's also kind of disappointing. I don't know why Activision is delaying. Obviously, companies have to move a lot slower than like an individual. So maybe they are having to track something on the back end and it's taking them a long time to fix this, because you would think this is really important. If people don't literally feel safe playing a video game because their IP can be stolen and they can be doxxed or, like that, crash the game, mess up your computer, like, why would you play? Or why would you play online? Just go back to one of the older, Black Ops that you already own, and just forget online play for now. Like, I don't know. It's just going to hurt their bottom lines. You would think that they would fix it. But according to this article, they have not. And yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of disappointing. All right, and my attempt at being hip with all the cool kids on YouTube. There was an incident that happened a couple of weeks ago between Maino, probably Maino, and Bubba 100X. I should probably in the future learn how to pronounce these people's names, but oh well. So where they kind of went head to head, and Maino actually did a chokehold to Bubba, and it was kind of, I guess, all over the news. Not my news, but other people's newses. And so apparently it has been revealed that it was planned. At first, it was planned that they were going to have an altercation at a party just to kind of raise, get their names spread around. But there was some confusion of, did Bubba know that he was going to be choked? But now it has come out that yes, both parties were privy to what was going to happen. And but they fooled everybody. So everyone's like, TMZ's having this as like an acting, kudos to them. I guess I'm very thankful that it was planned, because hopefully that means like that the chokehold was done in such a way that did not, have a potential to hurt anybody. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really like pranks. This also doesn't seem like a prank, because someone could have overreacted. But I'm glad it's fake, and I'm glad they're both safe and that they were amenable to it. So it wasn't, one-sided aggression or anything. So I guess that's a good story to have. And then in Minneapolis, during last week's snow emergency, as people are calling it, it's a blizzard, several people went sledding through the streets, like where cars and stuff usually are. But because the snowstorm caused everybody to not be out and, because it's not safe, all these reckless people went out, and one local YouTuber was really caught for this. And again, just so you guys know, that is illegal, so don't do it. But let's see, his name is Charles Shauff. I'm not sure what the name of his YouTube channel is, but he apparently is a like a storm chaser. Yeah, they just create vlog content doing crazy capers, similar to the feel of Mr. Beast and David Dobrik videos. So he's excited for the attention that it got him, but he literally slid down in a bed. he purchased a bed. It was a large bed, and each leg was nailed to a saucer-shaped sled. His friend Tanner drove him, so it was pulled by a truck. Yep. And Local Today reports the comfy ride was complete with a mattress, blankets, pillows, and 2 matching bedside tables with a working lamp. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'll put a picture up. That is a lamp. I don't know why I didn't notice that at first. I was having trouble seeing it. I don't know. It's super weird. So yeah, he's not the only one who went sledding. I think he's the only one who did it in a bed. And of course, he filmed it, so that's why we have proof. So just a note, if you're going to do something illegal, maybe don't film it, because I don't know. This article does not mention if any legal repercussions happened. And they said they took safety precautions and tested it, but it only went about 2 miles before the whole left side of the frame broke off. So clearly some of their safety precautions did not pan out. But luckily no one was hurt. But yeah, I don't think he got into any legal trouble. Of course, his name is out there, so I guess if Minneapolis is feeling it, they could potentially track him down. They have video evidence of him because he filmed himself. So just keep that in mind with all of these pranks and, trying to go viral. Like, I get it. I do get it. But just remember, if it is illegal, do not film yourself to have proof that can be used against you. Like, common sense, love. Like, just use your common sense and be safe. Be safe, really. I think we will end there. So I do have a few things that I did not mention. They are down in the description. So if you just wanted to see a few more articles or videos too. So I do share other people's videos. Again, I'm just kind of trying to play around with how I do this. These are always going to be slightly longer. And I think that's just going to be something that I have to accept. I thought these would be like 10-minute videos, but I just talk too much. See, I don't want to plan. I don't want to promise that I could do it daily and just take, an article a day and talk about it. I am not there yet. Maybe one day I will get there, but I just do not feel like I can do that yet. So we will see. But yeah, and I'm thinking about getting clip-on bangs so that I don't have to wear a whole wig and it's just to be a clip-on to help with my 5 head. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. But I'm a go now. So remember that you are loved, you are worthy, and whatever you are struggling with today will pass. Until next time, stay crazy.